In this video we're going to be drilling holes, hopefully. So it's Saturday morning, it's a great day for drilling holes. The reason why is because I'm going to be using scaffold poles like this as my support. They're very strong under compression, and when I use scaffold poles there'll be about 12 of them altogether. But the thing is, gosh, I've got so many, and all the clamps, all the swivel clamps and things like this, I can make an interlace underneath and really brace it up nice and solid. But I'm doing holes to stop it sort of shifting around a little bit, because I'm going to weld it. I'm going to weld the tubes to my frame. Now, to make the holes, we've got to have a drill. My friend Jerry lent me this bad boy. There you go. It's an SDS drill. What's so special about it? It's very powerful. As you can see by the size of it, it's a beast. But it does take a different type of drill. And let me show you the difference between the two. This little set's got both. This is SDS and this is SDS Max. You can see the difference. It took me ages to work out what it was, which leads us, so I've got them both here, but it does take this one, heavier duty. Now the thing is about this is that I was going to rent a set to do the holes, and this was like $90 Canadian off Amazon, like everything else I get. And I thought to myself, well, if it doesn't do it, I'll rent a professional one. But if it does drill the holes, because again, most of it's going to go through sort of rock, which is okay, but it's not really like granite or anything like that. So I bought this little set here for $90, and it comes with 5 different attachments, and they screw into those bars here, screw into here. I don't know if we'll be able to get about with one again, but they had this one in the set. Now it's got lots of carbide teeth on there, and they're cut at a nice angle, if you see what I mean. They've got like points on, they're not flat, they're pointed. How long they'll last I don't know. There's some shonky brazing I noticed on one of them, which I must have this one here. Looked like somebody's first day on the job. See there, look. Anyway, it doesn't matter about that, I won't be using that one. So it comes with a pilot drill. Now if you notice, the pilot drill has got 4 carbides in. These are really good. If you get the drills with just a single one on, they're not as good as the 4. I know that when I did my 5/8 holes using this drill, it was like 30 seconds and you'd gone in like 6 inches, so that was really good. Now, back to the posts, because I had a cunning plan, as you can probably see it here. I went down to my nut and bolt shop and I bought a great load of these. Why? Because if I weld these onto the end of the scaffold poles, top and bottom, this is going to spread the weight around, and it's going to make it easier for me to weld these to the bottom of the posts. You get it? And also I had a cunning plan, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. You can see, look, that they're a perfect fit. Made for it, and they're nice and thick too, so it's alright. So what I'm going to do, I hope this works, is when it's on the rock, it's going to be kind of difficult to actually measure what the right height is. So I'm going to make these a sort of a loose fit, get the post at the top, so if this is now the top, weld that in, and then get a little bit of dry concrete underneath in the hole, and then have this slide down. So once this is welded on, slide this down the pole till it's nice and firm, then weld it. So this is going to come down, weld onto the post all the way around, so we've maximised our surface area. That's what I'm trying to say. So this is going to be super strong. And I sort of worked out last night that the surface area of the metal here with all the posts would be just under a square metre. Oh, half a square metre, sorry, it's going to be half a square metre. So that's going to be really good, I think. Now, as I probably... That'll live down there, that's alright. As I probably mentioned to you before, I'm just doing this decking, because if this doesn't work, I'll just use it as a sun deck. But if it's nice and strong over winter, because we don't want to see any movement with the frost heave, yeah, it's kind of important. So if it starts to move and lift, then it's a deck. But it's not the end of the world. Now, how am I going to check that? Well, I thought about that, and I thought I'd have to screw some wooden posts on the corners, and out my kitchen window I can put a laser level and have a datum, so I can put the laser level back on the same place every time and shoot a laser to see if it's gone up or come down. That's the idea. If it hasn't moved, or it moves a millimetre or so, well, we'll get on with it. Now, other people have been sort of asking me about roofs and things like this. The angle of the roof is dictated to by the wall if I get onto this place, but say for example if I'm going to do 8-foot ceilings here, the old roof is like that. Well, I don't want to put a dog leg in it because it's going to be heavy for snow. So I'm going to have to make new rafters to go from the top to the new, what do you call it, a top plate on top of the wall. But that top plate is not going to carry the whole weight of the roof, because I can use the top plate of the existing building and tie it in, like in the middle. So there's only, what, 10 feet of span being supported, so it's going to be very, very well supported. Like I say, it's not just one great big piece so we'll get a buckle, because we have to think about how much snow. And I've been clearing roofs off here, off my building, and I've been almost knee deep in snow after a snowstorm, and you've got to get it off, and this is why we're fitting a metal roof, so it'll just like fly off on its own under its own weight. That's the idea. But the building itself is going to be kind of light. I think the heaviest things is going to be the windows, you know, because I want to put some patio windows in to let the light in. So anyway, that's that. So that's the plan. Let's go and drill some holes. Now, I'm not sure if you can see this clearly because I can't see the screen, but I've marked out where my centre is, because we're going to do it on the cross piece, so there's going to be, the piece is going to be on the cross, and perhaps now you can understand why we're doing the washers, to spread that weight a bit. I'll put a G-clamp, or a slash clamp, or whatever you want to call it, I don't know, cramp, so that the string line is right in the middle of the point here. Now you're going to say, Mike, why didn't you put it so that the plumb line is in the middle of the old footing? Well, the simple reason I wanted it as far as to that side as possible, because if you can see here, I've got the end of my container, and somehow I've got to put new, like, vinyl siding on here. I've got to think of a way to get my hand in to nail on the siding. We'll come to that later, because I'm certainly not moving the bloody container, that's for sure. So I've got that lined up, I've got that marked out. This can, we'll do it live. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but there's the drill. Jesus. Now I don't need to go too deep in this because it's only concrete, but I don't know, let's try it. Where's the centre? Here we are. It's like a hot wife through your wallet. It's great. Look at that. I'm going to go down another little bit. Oh, you can't see, can you? Wait a minute. Yeah, look, it's gone brilliant. You saw that drilling. I had to stand aside a little bit so you could see it. But the thing was, I just let the weight of the drill do the work. Gravity, isn't it great? I don't know who invented it. Isaac Newton did, didn't he? Anyway, I'm going to continue with that, and then I will chip that middle out. it just gets better. I don't even have to chip the middle out. It's come out inside here. Look. Come out. Yeah, look, it's all broke up. That's brilliant. Didn't lose any teeth, unlike me. That's great. So you can see the idea now. We'll bring the airline out and we'll blow that little hole out, because that's all it needs. Now, when we get the post in, we'll backfill that with concrete, or cement, concrete, whatever. So it's right in line, but that gives a little bit of movement. Should have really bought a bit of pole out with, shouldn't I? Oh, darn, there's the telephone. Ah, so, back again. Now this is a small piece of scaffolding, just to give you a demonstration. But once that's set in there, I have room to move the pipe around a bit so it's nice and square. And you're going to say to yourself, at the bottom of the hole it's not flat. How am I going to make it flat? With a picker. So we can just swap the piece over, pick it out, and that'll be flat. Now I'm not going to put a post in here yet, for the simple reason it's going to sort of block me access. It was only to show you how it works. But I think it's going to be good. It'll be interesting once we get over to the rock. Yeah. Anyway, that's my afternoon spoken for, so let's get on with it. Well, I got me 3 holes drilled in the concrete, but the tool broke. Look at that. It sheared off on the thread, look. Isn't it marvellous? So I don't know. And it's Saturday. And the thing is, the hire shop's shut now. So I'm knackered now. That was going good. It was going really good. I was quite surprised. I thought the teeth would have come off first. But no, it's just sheared off the thread. That we can do with that. We'll get our money back now.